It's the only ultra accessible theme park in the world, Morgan's Wonderland in San Antonio, Texas. And Isaac went there. We're going to hear from him about everything today on Driven by Purpose.
This is Driven by Purpose, a show about finding your purpose, building fulfilling careers, and helping people with disabilities live better lives. Hosted by three men who've lived it and are here to help you do the same. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Clean Logic, a leading bath and skincare company and a true pioneer in creating inclusive workplaces and increasing employment opportunities for people with disabilities.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Driven by Purpose. My name is Evan Rosenbaum, along with the co-founders of Clean Logic and the Inspiration Foundation, Isaac Shapiro and Mike Gesser. And today, I cannot wait for this episode because Isaac is fresh from his trip to Texas, where he visited the world's only ultra accessible, ultra inclusive theme park, Morgan's Wonderland. Isaac, I can't wait to hear all about this, man.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about it, especially just getting into San Antonio, which is one of my favorite cities. It reminds me of a very similar city. I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, but just, the Southwest, but just incredible experience to have Gordon Hartman on our show. I thought that's a great show. And then just to be able to pull up, I was like, actually, really, I don't know. I was excited, and I just think even getting to know the stories about both of you and how vacations, aren't as accessible and the time it takes. And so I was a little bit like, God, I can't wait to see what's going to be there. And
isn't it funny, Mike? Isn't it funny, Mike? We're the ones with the kids with the disabled. We're the ones with the disabled kids in the wheelchairs, and Isaac is the one that's going to the theme park.
Go visit the park that we need to go to.
I know.
But hey, I think that's great because we get to tell us all of the things that now we know. We actually saw it in person. I'm excited, actually. So
I know.
I was already texting Mike. I know. Hey.
I know.
So,
but I had the same thought.
No. All right, hold on, Isaac, because let's give some background on the park. All right, so we talked when we had Gordon Hartman on the first time. So Gordon Hartman was he's the guy, the philanthropist that built Morgan's Wonderland, and also it's a massive campus with all sorts of stuff that we're going to get to. But some fun facts about the theme park that he built in 2010. It's had over 3.5 million visitors from all 50 states, over 123 countries have been there to this theme park. Every single ride is fully inclusive. That means if you're in a wheelchair, no matter what the disability is, you will be able to access every single ride, every single attraction, every single food stand, everything in the park, no matter what your disability is, you will be able to access it, which is amazing. And it was fully designed that way. Gordon has a daughter with disability. And when he was inspired to make the park, he was like, everybody should have access to a theme park where they can enjoy every single part of the park. And that's what he did. And when he talked about it, he was so passionate about it. And he was a very wealthy, he made a lot of money in real estate, I believe, in
construction,
commercial real estate, all that stuff, and decided to really focus his efforts in his life in philanthropy and helping the disability community. And it's been incredible. So Isaac, Mike and I were talking about, we got to get there. Isaac just went. Isaac's like, I'm going. So you went to San Antonio, Texas. Tell us everything, man.
Well, let's first remember, I was there for work, and I just, I knew, because one of our favorite customers is down there, H-E-B stores.
H-E-B.
And then they had one of the industry conferences there. So I always just said, I was like, when I go down to H-E-B, I really want to see Morgan's Wonderland. And so it just always stuck, there. So it was just, really exciting to, I said the first day, it was Friday. I showed up on a Friday. Unfortunately, the park with rainstorm, it was flooded out. So they didn't even know if they're going to open the next day, and I had the work stuff going on. So I was really trying to make sure I could balance it out. So the next day, thankfully, it was a sunny day. And, we had Kat, who was just such a great host and already trying to, arrange of being flexible.
She's one of the big wigs over there.
Yep. And then when we when I showed up. It was just amazing to see Richard there, who greeted me, who's the director of operations, and really asked me, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "I want to see everything. I just want to understand, because I think it's amazing that you make the custom built machines." And so before we got started, I said, "Well, why did you work here?" And he said he actually spent 20 years working at Six Flags. And when he came to really see what was going on at Morgan's Wonderland, you could see it when you first show up, the different, families, because it's all disabilities that you see, whether it's someone on a spectrum, wheelchair, deaf. It was really, and what I really respected, it's not just a park for people with disabilities. It's a park that I think what we're all trying to do is make it an inclusive park.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go there if you have a disability. So you just felt just
Well,
a
on that,
good
can I
sense of
can I just
community.
interrupt you on that? Because
Yeah.
my family is, I have me, my wife, and my daughter who's 10, who has cerebral palsy, she's in a chair, and then my son is 8, and he's typical, and we want to do it. We want to do everything as a family. And it's like when we showed him videos of Morgan's Wonderland, and we showed him the the Instagram page and all the attractions and stuff, he wants to go. He's like, "Look at that! I want to get over there." So they've done a really good job of appealing to it. You're right, Isaac. It's not just like, "Oh, I'm in a wheelchair. I
It's
want to
for
go there."
everybody.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody. That's the
right.
point. It's
And
for
they did a
I mean,
everybody.
they
really
had
good
this one
job.
ride that they were like, you flap your wings and it would actually go up and down. And like there was a whole, and I was like, well, how does that work? And there's like a whole sensor. I mean, it is amazing that they custom build, all these machines, and they really tried to offer what's out there with a lot of the big theme parks. So, yeah.
All right. So I have so many questions. Number one, what was you just mentioned a ride where you flap your arms and you like simulate flying, I imagine. Did you go on these rides?
No, we just we just walked around because I knew, they had a busy day. It was a Saturday.
You couldn't be like, "I want to go on all the rides." Could you imagine that, Mike? Like Isaac just like by himself, like just like, "I want to go on this ride, and then I want to go on this ride, and then I want to go on that ride."
It would have given us a little better perspective
I
on
know, it
what we
would've
do
been
for
amazing.
kids, but it's okay.
Yeah, so I'll leave that to you guys.
So the
to
rides
do
were
a
impressive.
report. Impressive. I think it was just amazing because like when you show up like a carousel, it's the first ride that you walk up and to see there's a wheelchair ramp that goes in and you load, and then all the horses are around that so that you could have your siblings by, or you can have your family member. So that was just that first component that you would never think like a carousel. And then, to even see the Ferris wheel and to see where they have areas where people with wheelchairs could have, where they have double doors. So it was just everything that you saw, they really thought about really bringing people. And, that, I mean, Evan, the reason I'm thinking, the whole time I was thinking about that story when I think it was, you went to like a medieval
Legoland.
fair or a place, and your daughter goes and shows up and she, it being told no, and she's,
It was Lego. It was Legoland,
Legoland.
California, and we went on an attraction there, and we were told that people with wheelchairs weren't allowed on this particular attraction, and we were kicked off the attraction. And we were, even though there was a sign that said that she was allowed to be on it, the staffer told us that it embarrassed everybody. It would embarrass in front of everybody. They kicked us off, and so it was a combination of not properly trained staff, embarrassing us in front of people, not knowing the rules, and it turned into a really bad experience that day. And so that's one of the reasons that I'm so excited about going to Morgan's Wonderland, is that it's a culture there. When we talked to Gordon on the show, it was everybody that's hired to be there is there because they want to support everybody. When he calls it ultra inclusive and ultra accessible, it's not just a word that they throw around. Everybody buys into that. And what I'm curious, when you were there, or when you were seeing staff and you were seeing families like enjoying the park and all that stuff, like what was the vibe like?
Well, I was going to just lead into what you said about your story. It was a perfect lead in, because both Kat and Richard, clearly, because I met them at separate times and then came together, but they both said the same thing, that it's a place where families don't have to have that stress, the eyes on them, those embarrassing type things that might happen. So you could see it was very aware. And then you also, saw they had employees with different disabilities. When you walked in at ticketing, you had, someone that was in a wheelchair. You saw, so you could definitely feel it, but it was very clear when they talked about it first that this is a place that they want families with disabilities where they don't have to have the eyes on them. So I thought they were very conscious about that.
When we spoke with Gordon, he was talking about how they were expanding the campus. They were in the process of getting ready to unleash this brand new state-of-the-art incredible hotel. Did you
Yeah.
see that? I think that they are getting close to opening that up. Did you see that while you were there by chance?
No, that was still under construction. November is going to be the date that's opening up.
Yes.
So that's where maybe we guys need to coordinate, your
Yes.
day down there.
Mike, we gotta coordinate.
Doing the opening. I did not get to see the water park either. I was really wanting to see the water park, but that doesn't open until May 15th.
Yep.
Like seasonal.
Yeah,
Seasonal.
it's May to September. So you're not going to get the water park guys if you want to do the
Yeah.
hotel.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to go twice.
twice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. That's
Yep.
fine. But
Yep.
they also have like a sports facility, and they've got a salon,
The sports complex. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And the
it's what-
institute as well, you saw down there. So I think they said it was on 25 acres, but I don't know if that's just the theme park or that's the whole complex.
The
but
whole
it's
complex.
definitely- Yeah, the whole complex is massive.
Isaac, you sent me pictures of something indoor. It was like a gray room with couches.
yes,
Was that a
yes.
sensory room or what?
They had
what
a
building?
whole, it was everything. It was like a little kind of village market or like town hall, but they had a nice, accessible screen for movies in there. And then they did have this sensory room with tons of ways that, you could, work in there with your child and stuff, especially when you're trying to calm them down. So that was something that, was very accessible too. And then they also, I thought they had this fishing wharf. They did talk a lot about like, some of the kids out there that just love to just come and just go fishing all day. And you
That's
could
awesome.
definitely feel that. Yeah. And they said that, it's well packed. So like people coming out with fish. So yeah, there was
Amazing.
just a lot of amazing things that they had that.
Overall, as impressive as you had hoped it would be, more so.
I thought it was more so because again, I just the commitment to the staff. Again, it's not a place where you think people just. They made it like an accessible theme park, and they're committed to making it all inclusive. So it's not just like, oh, you should go there if you have a family member with a disability. And I think it's changing the world, right? Again, it's something
That's
that
awesome.
there's theme parks out there, and I hope they start to see that, well, if I want some of that business, I probably should start thinking about how to create rides. I think we even heard
Yep.
Gordon spoke at one of the conferences where they make, rides. So I think what it really represented is just another place that's setting the example, and really
Pioneers.
looking at it across, it's normalizing it. And I don't know, I even want to try to figure out how to connect them in the community just because we work really hard in the community with HEB and Vibrant Works. So they're just, I think they've got a lot to offer. And, you can't put the emotional feeling there, right? That we had Gordon on there, but when you go there, I think you'll know what I'm feeling, just because it represents like it's like one of the things that we were talking about was it's amazing on our show how many people we've met that are connected to disabilities and the other stories that we haven't even told yet. But there's so many people doing all these things, and all of a sudden we're all kind of coming together and being like, oh,
Yeah.
you were doing that for like 15 years. I didn't know that. And oh, you were doing that with this store. So we're all like coming together. And that's what I love about what we're trying to do on our podcast is bring everybody together to tell the story. And I think just even what I felt represented for me a little bit was just defining, like, as I said, well, the foundation, talking about Clean Logic. And I feel like what we're doing for the community is, what I've learned over the years is each community and the disability community speaks for themselves, and you got to fight for your rights in each one. But like what we're trying to do is bring it all together as like one powerful force, and trying to really
There's
represent
strength.
the
There's
whole.
strength in
Yeah.
numbers.
So when
Yeah.
you bring it all together, so I think that's what we're trying to do differently is, we've been able to engage all the different, communities, and there are probably still some more that, we're learning about, but like, I think we're really, defining it. Even we talked about, I think we're just on something on the tip of the iceberg, but we talked about it even at Morgan's Wonderland around mental health and child behavior. So there's those things that I think we're really doing a good job bringing the conversation around all the visible and non-visible disabilities.
Well, I'm glad, dude. It's amazing to hear that you had such a great experience there. I can't wait to go. I mean, my wife and I keep talking about we got to figure out a time to schedule a trip and go. I think the opening of the hotel seems like a perfect time to schedule a trip. And Mike, I'm dead serious
Dead serious.
that we should coordinate that and go together. And I don't know if you remember, but when we had Ed Lynch on the show a couple of weeks ago, I told him that I was dead serious about going down and visiting the restaurant that he has in Redondo Beach, California. Ed Lynch is the creator, CEO of Michael's Cafe and Michael's Print Shop and
Bakery.
Michael's. He's got all the Michael's places, which of course is a tribute to his daughter. And on the show, I said, I'm going to come down there. I'm going to come and visit. He's like, absolutely. Don't threaten me with a good time. And I said, all right. Well, guess what? Just like Isaac, I went down there and I paid him a visit. And guess what? It was amazing. I went down to Michael's Cafe in Redondo Beach, California.
Nice.
And I met with Ed, and he was even more amazing in person than he was on the show. He was so incredible on the show. He was so charismatic and he was so generous with his time, and opened up about how he started his business, started his little coffee shop, and then it turned into a cafe. And he hires people with disabilities to work there in his print shop, and how they train people up. And when I went down to Michael's Cafe and I parked in the parking lot and I walked in, the second that you walk in through those doors, it is a feeling, it is a vibe. It is.
Is it that emotion that I'm talking? Because like I said, I felt like
hits
when
you.
it hits you.
It hits you when you walk in the door. As soon as I walk in the door, and the people that are working there, they smile at you, and it is a bright place and everything. Ed waved to me as I walked in. He said, come sit down. I said, all right. He said, what do you like? I said, I don't know, man. He goes, go order something. So I walked to the front, and there were some people there that were working at the counter, and I ordered some food. And the people that were working there could not have been nicer and happier. The people that were eating there, everybody seemed to be in a great mood. I had a great chat with Ed. He was like, let me show you around. We went back into the kitchen.
Evan, real quick,
Yeah.
because I remember we didn't get to all of Ed's, like all packed in his business. So is the cafe, the print, all in one location, or is it multiple locations? You go visit all those?
It's
or just
multiple
the cafe?
locations, but they're all real
Okay.
close to each other.
Okay,
so
so
the
you checked them
cafe
all
is in
out?
one building, and then there's a print shop that's down the way. So I started
Okay.
in the cafe, and the food
Okay.
and the coffee was incredible. And then we went down, we went into the kitchen, and I met the chef and the people that were working in the back. And first off, I was talking to the chef, and I asked him, I was like, hey man, like, how do you like working here? How long have you been here? And the chef said to me, he goes, this is the best job I've ever had in my life. He goes, I love coming to work every single day. I love working with my coworkers. I love the clientele. I love it. And
Did he have a
could tell-
disability? No disability?
No, he didn't have a disability.
Kind of sounds like Rich Ryder.
No.
Yeah, he was just like, I've worked and in a bunch of jobs. I've been in kitchens, and I just love, this is the best. He looked at me in the face and he said, this is the best job I've ever had. And I believed him. And the more I spent time in the cafe, the more I understood why. The people that came in were just so happy to be there. It was such a community. It wasn't people coming in for like a transactional moment. There were people that were coming in for they wanted to be a part of this. They were coming in there because, they were, every time somebody walked in the door, hey, Ed, hey, what's going on? They knew the people who worked there. They were so happy. It was a community. They were
that's
there for
awesome.
the community
That's what I
aspect
was going
of
to
it.
say. Part of the community.
And Redondo Beach is like at least from my experience, is such a strong community, and everybody is kind of that beachy vibe. So I can only imagine how strong of a community it fits because it's in Redondo Beach, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we walked down the way to the print shop, and I met everybody in the print shop. And again, they were so nice, and everyone was so happy to be there, and they were so proud to be there. And they're not successful because it's a charity. They are successful because they are a strong business with a great product. All of it, every aspect of Michael's is that way. The cafe is a great, amazing cafe with great food and a great coffee and great service. And it's a beautiful building. And the print shop is a great, efficient print shop that makes great stuff. And they hire people with disabilities, and they have it all working. And it is awesome. People aren't going there because they're like, oh, we're just here to support people. No, it's a whole vibe.
Well,
and
Evan,
he's doing it just right. And I can't tell you like how much I when I left there, well, first off, I was emotional from like the minute I walked in the door. And I told that too. I was like, you are doing it. You were an amazing person, and what you built is incredible. And I'm so
Evan,
inspired
before
by
you go a
you.
little bit farther about that, I think it's even more important that I thought he said to you is you're like, yeah, I've thought about a coffee shop. And he's like, well, you should come on down and I'll teach you how to do it. Like if it's
Man.
Evan's Cafe. So like, again, what I love in what
Yeah.
you guys say, it's like the community wants to share. That's normally a big competitor. Like, I don't want you to
Yeah.
open up another coffee shop like doing that. But no, he wanted to bring you down. He wanted
No.
to show you, get you excited. So how was that? Did he, any
He could
thoughts
not have
around that?
could not have been nicer, could not have been more open, more willing to share. We've been texting, he's been so just generous again with his time and his knowledge, and offered to help. And I told him, I was like, look, man, I want to do what you're doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, I need somebody like you to kind of show me the way. And he's like, count me in. And I was like, amazing. So we've been texting, and I told him, I was like, look, I want to take big steps in doing something like this before the end of the year. And he's like, let me know how I can help, anything I can do to help. And I'm like, dude, you're the man.
You know what I find interesting is there's everybody that I know, and that's Clean Logic, Ed, Morgan's Wonderland. What we do, we want to share with the world. The more people that do this, the more we can impact the world. I don't think you're going to find anybody that's doing what we do that isn't willing to open their doors and teach another person to do it. And I think that's just phenomenal.
This community is an amazing community, right? I met somebody at one of the many disability events or programs that we're in, Dad, and he said to me, and he goes, it's the greatest community that you never wish to be a part of.
Yeah. You never thought you'd be a part of.
But when he said that to me, that you never wish to be a part of, I get it, because like when you're drawing up your life plan, you never think to yourself like, I want a kid that has a disability. You never like, that's not what you're drawing up when you're drawing up like the way you want it. But like, I'm so like, and I feel like you guys are probably going to relate to this a little bit. I'm probably not saying it perfectly, but I love my life, and I love my kids, and I love my family, and I love the community that I'm in. Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. Like, this is my path, and I'm on it, and I'm so
100%.
happy with it. And I love the people that I get to interact with every single day. And the reason that that I'm doing this show, and that I want to dive deeper into this community and like spend the rest of my life in this community, is because it's an amazing community. And like, it's people helping people. And it's like such a, the people that have made the conscious decision to like be a part of this community are like even more amazing.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of those
And
people.
remember, we say
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's extra work. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
that piece, but there's just that sense of purpose that gets us there.
Anyway, so you're up next, Mike, because Isaac went to Texas and I went to Redondo Beach. What's up? What's up with you, bud?
I just got back from the Special Olympics. I was there last Friday.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so it was very interesting. I just got back from Special Olympics last Friday with Rosie and her school. It was in Chester County Special Olympics, and there was schools from all throughout Chester County. And I was actually talking about this a little earlier in one of our meetings at work. We start each meeting with a personal best and a business best, and my personal best was doing the Special Olympics with Rosie, and she participated in a couple of events. But what I had talked about to me, outside of her winning first place in the events that she did, proud dad. But what I realized the moment that I walked into Special Olympics was there were probably, I'd say, about 1,000 kids there
Amazing.
that had all different kinds of disabilities. And there were families, parents, siblings. There were also tons of educators that were there. And what I realized was it was one of the only times in my life today where I don't feel like everybody was like me, right? All the parents there were parents of a child with a disability. Nobody looked at me. I wasn't different. I wasn't the guy walking in the door, pushing my daughter in her wheelchair, and all of a sudden all the heads turn.
Yeah.
It was an extremely accepting and comfortable environment. And I've never experienced that in my life. And it was just very overwhelming in the greatest way possible.
Did Rosie get a medal? Did she get like a?
They got ribbons. She got two ribbons. She did, one of her events was the 10-meter unassisted walk. And so she raced against
That's awesome.
people in walkers. It was hilarious. It was
Awesome.
amazing. And like these two girls were walking against each other in their walkers. And they're probably, I think both of Rosie's 12, the other girl had to be 12 too. And these kids were racing. Like they were literally like challenging
Like the competitive juices start to flow, right?
Competitive. It was amazing. I loved it. And then like before that, there was like different wheelchair races. There was unassisted wheelchair. There was assisted wheelchair. It was just one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
I love this so much. I love
Yeah.
it. That makes me so happy. Well, look, this is great. These boots on the ground episodes, we got to do these more often. And Mike, we're going to Texas.
Morgan's Wonderland.
Morgan's Wonderland.
We're going. All right. This is going to do it. We got to wrap
All right.
up because we got a guest coming for our next episode. So we got to wrap this one up. Remember, if you want to support us, and please support it, we appreciate you guys so much, and we appreciate the support. We do. Thank you so much. Continue to support Driven by Purpose, Clean Logic, and the Inspiration Foundation. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Like, support, follow, comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time on Driven by Purpose.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell a friend.